Right, here we go. I've been practicing this bit. Welcome to the very first podcast known, and you will know this is a name that you'll be wanting to say on your lips for the rest of eternity, Hat Gossip. I am John, the host of Hat Gossip. I have two fabulous women with me. I have the Princess of Petershams. I've got the Countess of Crinoline, Michelle and Fiona.
Hey!
I've said that so many times today. Oh my god! I was like, get this right, John. Get this right. How are you both doing?
Good. Now that I know I'm a Countess of Crinoline, I mean, hello.
Well, one's
I'm
a countess
great.
and one's a princess, so you two have to decide between you which is which.
Wow.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
We'll
Share the responsibility.
Varies depending day to day what we're feeling.
My very first question is, how is Conan?
He's not here today. Oh, we should have brought him.
Oh!
I know.
For a second then, I thought he was about to say. For a second then, I thought he was going to say
no!
Here. And I was like, oh, that was
Oh,
awkward.
No.
Oh no.
Little
He's still,
My little
he's still
puppy.
around.
He's still around. He's actually on holiday. He's at grandma's house. He's having a little spa weekend. So
nice.
he's good. He's good. Yeah.
See,
he's
Conan
trouble.
is like the OG Petershams member of staff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We love Conan.
Way before me.
Yeah, the original
Way before me.
the
He's the
original
Duke of
managing
Petershams.
director. Yeah. He's in charge. Yeah.
As he should be. As he should be. So let me. What I want to talk about first of all is the background of Petershams Millinery. How did it start? What was the idea behind it in the first place?
I know it's kind of I pinch myself every time I kind of tell this story a little bit, because it wasn't really meant to happen. And I think that's how businesses happen sometimes, when you just follow your passion, right? And I'm obviously from California. I moved to the UK, and I just found out there was a hat scene here, right? And like, I've never had a hat scene in my life, because California, it's functional. It's like, snowboard hats and like skateboarding, workout things. It's a very functional hat wearing community, right? So we don't have like ascot moments. Going to a wedding wearing a hat, you just don't really do that where I'm from so much. So I came over here and I was like, what is this? What is this hat wearing that people do? And I just like loved it. It felt over the top at the time to me.
Kind of ridiculous.
Like, whoa, you're gonna like wear a hat. How special and fun and like amazing. And I was living in London and I found out like, ooh, there's some amazing tutors in London, like the best in the industry. You could actually just like go and learn from them. It blew my mind that this existed. And I started to collect vintage veiling. I actually accidentally bought too much of it on eBay from a lady who, it was just really bad shots of, it was kind of an eBay bargain. I had this whole big box of veiling. It ended up being vintage. I'm like, I need to learn how to use this because I have too much of it now. So I started to take courses with like Judy Bentnick, and that was the first person I started learning from. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'll offload some of this because I just have way too much of it. I'll sell it on Etsy, right? And everyone knows Etsy now, but at the time, like, we're talking well over a decade ago, nobody in the UK was really on Etsy. There wasn't very many of us, but I knew about it because I was American, right? So I was selling all this veiling to Americans and they were like, this is amazing. And I thought, what if I could just get more? Because people are like, can you get this in like black and ivory? And I thought, could I? Could I like take my little profit, and like buy a bolt of veiling somewhere? So I literally took my little profit, bought a bolt of veiling, and then I bought another bolt of veiling, and then I had like 5 colors. I was like, oh, I've got 5 colors of veiling. I've got a shop. you know? So yeah, it just started snowballing it. Like I'd buy one more thing. And I thought, hat bases. I wonder if I could get hat bases. You know, bought in an ivory one, a black one, literally like one, you know, put it for sale on Etsy and see if anybody wants it. And just kept doing it. And and here we are, literally, you know, 11 years later. We've been in business for 11 years. And now we have a warehouse that we filled up doing the same exact thing. And we have like storage outside of the warehouse because we don't even have room for all this stuff.
See,
that's a real condensed version. But I mean, obviously, opening the shop was the really big
turning point.
Huge turning point. So like, this was maybe like 5-6 years in, when I had a friend who worked in this complex, like a shipping container complex in London. And she's like, you should like have a little shop. And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's millinery. Like, it's so niche. There's no millinery shops in London, really, right? I mean, because we're so niche. Like, who's gonna walk by and go, maybe I'll start making hats, you know? Like,
think of a brand new career path today.
It just doesn't happen. So it was a bit of a risk. But I'm so glad
you did it.
I did it because people were able to come and see. And then this girl walked into my life.
Literally walked in.
Literally walked in.
Came in as a customer.
So
been here 5 years.
So Fiona came in one day and I was starting to get busier because it was just me at the time, really. And I'm like, I could use some help. Like, you know, I'm working crazy hours. And this lovely girl walked in. I was like, she's cool. She kind of reminds me of myself. I mean, people get us confused all the time, which is so funny. But I was like, do you need a job by any chance? Like, I just thought this girl could like easily fit in. And wrote a little email, stalked her for a little bit.
Found me on Instagram.
Found you on Instagram, stalked Fiona, and then said, come and work with me. And like a couple weeks later, she was working. There. And then here we are.
I've moved to Canterbury. We've had like the Elephant and Castle place. We've had the Deptford place. Now we've got the Canterbury place. And yeah, we just keep on growing and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change anything. I'm so glad I walked in that day.
I know.
It's completely changed my life.
And mine.
Kind of,
yeah.
It was made to be like, because I remember going into the Elephant and Castle store and then I saw you, Fiona, come in working for the first time. And I was like, who is this girl? Like, she's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, she just fits in so well in this like crazy millinery store. Like, so yeah. What would you say is the ethos of Petershams? What is it that sets Petershams apart? And I'm just going to kind of not give you my opinion, but like you touched on, retail, there wasn't really a retail store from millinery, especially one that you could walk into. Yes, you could go to Luton, but you was more of a retail store. Why and like, how do you think that's helped with the ethos of Petershams? If that makes any sense.
I think we brought millinery to a more modern market, right, in the UK, especially to like beginners starting out, because what I found as a beginner starting out, we had these really cool companies who are suppliers in the UK, and like we're all friends and we love each other, and they're great, but you know, they weren't necessarily online. You had to call them up. You know, it's a very visual art form, and to not have pictures of stuff, I found it hard as a beginner. You know, like what is in material knowledge? You know, maybe you don't have the money to go to a class to learn, or you know, so things just need explaining, I think. And so I just took my own beginner's millinery experience as somebody who knew nothing about hats and thought, what do I want to see online? And that's really it. And then from there, I thought, what do I want to buy? You know, as somebody who's learning about millinery. And then I think it's carried over, like, okay, millinery for everybody, but then what do we want? We want to like stock sustainable stuff. We want to stock vintage stuff, like really high-end stuff, and then like really affordable, easy to get stuff too. And having just a real depth of stuff so everybody has something, right? You know, whether you're like a super straw specialist or somebody who's never touched cinema in your life, you know, we got something for you on every budget level. So that's always been my thing. And
then it's not just like having the professional millinery supplies like capelines or cinema or silkabaka. It's also having those like little trims to finish it off. So obviously we have the traditional things, but then we have like, I don't know, like neon green fringe, like just in case you wanted to pop it on a hat, you know, things to complete something. Whereas we found a lot of, maybe, I don't know, it was more sort of tailored just the pure traditional supplies.
Foundation materials.
And we've sort of delved into a little bit of like the trimming and like, but mainly also the traditional stuff, but trimmings as well. To really just like round it all off and sort of appeals to.
Because that's hard too, especially. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's kind of like a one-stop shop, really. It's like you can go here, you can get everything you need, even as a beginner. You know, because those that have been in the industry a while, like generally will shop around and get from here, there, and everywhere because of certain colours. But when you're kind of new, it's all there for you, ready. You just need to figure out what's going to go together.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you can like buy your flowers and ribbons from the same place, it just makes it easier, right? So and plus we love the trim part of the job. Like that is like it's like so why would we not stock the cherry on top of the cake? You know, like that's the funnest bit when you find like some really cool diamantes or like silk flowers and you know,
we're suckers for trims. Anything sparkly or really, it's here. We've got it.
Yeah.
Or if we haven't got it, we will get it. We've sort of built the business around that, really, just sparkles and
actually it's probably a good time on the subject of trims to tell you, and we've slightly told the world, but not really, but
is this an exclusive?
It's actually it's semi-exclusive. Semi-exclusive. So we actually just told a bit of the world that we inherited 2 shipping containers worth of silk vintage flowers from a 4 generation. But what people don't know is that we have a 3rd shipping container on the way. So we've got a little bit mad. We probably
went a little OTT on the flowers, but it's so good. It's so good.
If they're anything like those promo pictures, those little pictures that you teased us with, then we're in for a treat. Like
it's unreal. Like
lemons.
What size
like
do you
lemons?
Want? What size lemons? Like we have. I mean, we haven't even. You can kind of see all the boxes in the corner there, right? I mean, that is just a tiny little smidgen of what we got, but we've had to start opening all these boxes to find out what's in them because we just blanket bought all the old stock from a 4 generation old silk flower maker out of New York, and he retired. He closed up shop, and essentially we bought everything. So
I don't know if you can name names, and if you can't, I understand. But
yeah, it's fine. I mean, he's all closed up now. Charles Lubin Company. He's a very famous, famous New York flower supplier, and he had just the most incredible taste. He personally has worked in the business since he was 13 years old, with his family. It's the heritage of that company. I mean, he was going to like Germany during the war to get flowers smuggled out of the country nearly. I mean, it was just unreal, the heritage behind this company. And we got his personal flower press from his childhood, his antique. He kept one for himself, and we got it in the end.
Yeah.
Along with over 500 flower molds.
The cast iron flower mold.
We got the stamps.
Wow.
We got the molds.
Dyes.
Just the most interesting
everything.
stuff. Like, I mean, even like little cutters for little chevrons for military uniform that they used during the war. Their company stamped out all of the patches for the uniforms. And so we've got those. Like, it's so special. I can't. It like makes me want to cry. How nostalgic. And I feel like we've taken on. We're continuing on his business. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I know it's not. It's just such a small portion of what he created, but
like the next generation of the company almost.
It feels
like
that way.
We've taken on the family history, and we want to keep it going. We want to keep it going because the last thing we wanted to have these flowers just like lost, and they are just, every box we open is incredible. Like,
I mean, we're opening up boxes that are in wood crates with string tied around them that haven't been opened since the 40s.
Wow.
Blows your mind. That's where all those lemons and oranges and a lot of the fruits are coming in these like old wooden boxes. It's like just too much. It's too much. What a privilege to be the person to open it, you know.
I know. Like, I can't wait till they go on the website, because I haven't shopped with you guys for a while because of COVID and all this international shipping thing. It's just but you know, things should be opening up. So when I see them on the line, I'll be like, thank you very much. Where's my boyfriend's credit card? Thank you. I love you. Bye.
I mean, Fee just like, we have a little bucket, but like everything's got like these little tags on it. Like, you know, like made in Germany, like
made in Germany East.
East. I mean, part of the tale that we were told about some of the stuff is they were rationing fabric in Germany at the time. And for the flower maker to continue to still have a business, they hid the fabric for the flowers in the walls of his apartment. And they were making, so some of the stuff we have is like hidden wall fabric, you know, and they made flowers out of these things and got them out of the country. It's
That's
unreal.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It's just, you don't think of that these days. Like, you don't, you know, it's this history that we don't realize that's behind a lot of these things. And it's nice that you guys have now got in your possession and be sharing them, you know, with the world.
Absolutely.
If you ever do any flower making classes with these beautiful stamp molds, let me know, because I will fly over to do one of those.
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to like craft a plan what we're gonna do with it, because it is a beautiful machine, and I feel like people need to see it. So when we kind of sell down some of the flowers and make room for that, I think that's definitely on the cards.
Definitely,
yeah.
And when things
so to everybody that's watching, and to everybody that's watching, everybody's listening, you need to buy all these flowers so that they can start making them, and I can go over and see how it's done. So go and buy the flowers now.
Yes, near our warehouse, it's really full.
It's very full. It's hard to move.
So I mean, because I'd got like a list of questions, and some of it was about your buying trips, and you've covered most of my questions, if I'm honest with you. But what was the weirdest thing? What was the weirdest thing you found in any of these like random?
I mean, I can think of some stuff. I mean, probably the weirdest stuff. We actually went on a buying trip to South Africa. And we were literally on our hands and knees in a warehouse that had been abandoned for the greater part of like 40 years. But it used to sell haberdashery and stuff. So like you look under shelving and like scrape out all these cardboard boxes and try to find stuff, like, but there would be like old jewelry and rolls of old Petersham, and you just never knew
what you were gonna
scoop out. And so that was kind of a strange trip. But we would find a lot of questionable stuff there. Through the nature of, you know, social conflict at the time. There was some pieces that you go, not sure. But yeah, that was probably the weirdest.
That was a weird
trip. Yeah. I mean, we would find alongside like kids' toys, we would find like old Swarovski crystals, you know. It was just, what are we gonna find?
That's fun.
It was weird. So weird.
And we were climbing on like maybe like 5 feet high piles of cardboard boxes from where this place had been kind of like not looted, but a little bit looted. And just piles of cardboard boxes and getting up into shelves and then finding full trays of vintage Petersham. You know, and we had headlamps on, there was no electricity.
Yeah, that was very weird.
Not great facilities. Yeah,
and
it was unreal.
These are the things that you do for us. These are the things that you go through to give us the goods that we look at and go, oh, that would be amazing on a hat. I mean, personally,
we give
myself,
you guys the glamour. We give you guys the glamour, and we do the nitty-gritty stuff. What were you?
That's it. I mean, personally, myself, one of the things that I bought a couple of years ago was some of the vintage sequins that you guys stocked.
That's where we got all of our vintage sequins, actually.
So those neon noodles, those half circle noodles, I love those. I wish I'd have bought more. I don't think you guys have got them anymore, and I was so gutted that I didn't get more when you had them. It's like, they were divine.
They went so quick
because like you can't get sequins like that anymore. They they used to make such a variety of sequins back in the like 40s, and they were really heavily domed, you know, really like heavy pressed out shapes. Like now everything's flat and it might have some veining if you're lucky, but to get like a real like pressed out, I mean, it's insane.
I know, like one of the, we've still got some actually. I'm surprised we've still got them. We've got a couple of packs of domed heart sequins from the 1950s. They're incredible.
I'm going to go on the website afterwards and look at this.
Yeah,
it's one of these products. It's one of the products that we go, how do we still have this? You know, it's one of those. Yeah.
What I'm going to do is when I put this up on YouTube and I edit it all up, I'm going to put a picture of that in if you've still got it. So they'll be able to see exactly what that is.
That's
so one of the next questions is, where is your neon stuff? Because I am searching for neon and nobody has neon, and I'm trying to find neon. In fact, I still have somewhere. In fact, I pulled it out the other day because I'm making some hats, some winter hats. My last neon felt that I have from you guys, I've still got. I haven't used it. I haven't dared touch it.
Good.
Because you can't get neon anywhere.
Can't.
Yeah, I mean,
really can't.
We have a bit, mainly like neon yellow. I think that's like probably the most popular neon color. We've got it in like Crane, we've got it in Silka, we have it in feather mounts, we have it in like individual feathers, but felts, I don't think we have any left because
very hard to come by.
Yeah, I mean we're kind of like, especially with felts, we we stay away from getting new felts produced personally.
We try, yeah.
It's just one of these things that like, you know, we're trying to like reduce our footprint, and it's so easy to get vintage felts really for us. So, and the quality is like 10 million times better than what you can get now. So we don't really get new felts produced, but if we did, I would love a neon one again.
Yeah, if you did, I'm not asking you to do, but if you did, I would buy it all. I'd be like, don't even try and sell it to somebody else, because I'll just take it all. Thank you very much. So what are like going into like stock? What is your sort of top popular stuff? What is the best selling ranges? What do people buy the most from you guys?
I mean, it's gonna be like really basic, boring stuff, like the top selling things, you know, like Cinema fabric, you know, that's classic. A classic all-rounder. Everybody uses it. You know, ours is really lovely quality, I would say. It's like heavy, stiffened, you don't need many layers. So, you know, we got a really good quality Cinema, and I think that's caught on a bit. So that's number one, hands down, every year.
That. Yeah, I'm not just saying it, like I do like your Cinema. It's nice. It works. I'm not just saying that because I'm on a call with you. Like it genuinely is. Like it's good Cinema.
It is a good Cinema.
Yeah.
But then we do sell like a lesser grade Cinema, which does quite well too.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's still great.
It's still great. It looks more
really
hand woven and actually can be more appropriate for certain pieces.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have both qualities there.
Yeah.
So Cinema number one. Second, like cock feathers. You know?
Yeah.
You can never go wrong with cock feathers.
You know something, right? I can't find them here.
Why?
I can't.
It's like definitely on our top 5.
Okay, like no one does those feathers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Little floaties.
Like, you can't. I just can't. None of the suppliers in Australia sell them. So if anybody's listening in Australia, get some. Because
how strange.
Like unless I'm just not seeing them, which is possible. What about some underrated stuff? What is the things that you think like these are people just need to know more about these? What would you say?
We have them right here.
They're so underrated.
Oh, these
so good.
Okay, so essentially these straws
are so underrated.
So underrated. We know the power of these straws. Like we've seen them in a few moments lately. But these are all vintage, and we don't actually charge enough for them.
No.
I think they're like £8. We should probably put the price up because they are all hand woven. I don't know if you can see the detail on them.
Yeah.
But they are ridiculous and totally hand woven. And you just can't get straw like this anymore. This modern straw that you can buy in, and trust me, I have tried, is just slightly horrendous. And I actually think that's fair enough, because people shouldn't have to make things like this anymore. Like the labor takes something like this to make it, it's too much. Like, you know, and this is why people don't produce these anymore, because you just couldn't. So this is a real rarity. When these have left the world, I don't think you'll ever get something like this again.
So you've got to get them whilst you can.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got quite a lot now, but I mean, give it a bit. I think this year's going to be a good year for millinery.
And I don't.
I feel like they're going to go. So,
but it is. Yeah.
Just for everybody listening, we are actually recording this at the beginning of February. So whenever this does go out, just bear in mind, like this was recorded in early February. So Just bear that in.
Our
Like,
season's
it's
coming
probably-
up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But I think anything that's like a relic of millinery history that, I mean, we have products, especially vintage stuff. And because we get stuff produced, we know what is possible to get produced right now and what is not. And so anything that we have that I know we will never be able to get this produced for any kind of money, you know. I know that these are the most special things you could possibly have. So like these are the most special things that we have for sure. Because when they're gone, like hats will never be made of this kind of thing again. No. And this one in particular, I think we can kind of drop it now. Also exclusive to you, Johnny. Do you know Gentleman Jack, the TV series?
Yes, I haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it. Yes. So
they just dropped the kind of imagery for the second season. Is it the third? Oh, but actually, her hat is made of this, and we
wow.
Yeah. We are stoked.
Yeah, we saw the promo and we're like, oh yeah, that's us.
So we just found out yesterday that it was in fact this very item that is featured. So yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Get buying.
So for because those that are listening on podcast, you want to go over to YouTube to find out what this looks like, because all the links to everything will be in the YouTube description of this on the video. So if you are listening on a podcast, whatever podcast that this goes on to, check me out on YouTube and you'll be able to see all the links to everything that has been discussed in this video so far. I want to kind of ask, what is the future? What does the future look like for you guys? Like, you know, I mean, you kind of shared some new exclusive things that are coming out and things like that. But like, where is Petershams going to go?
It's been so hard to plan a future, like when you're ducking and diving a pandemic, you know, like the last few years have been like, let's just survive this. We've been in survival mode literally the last 2 years. I can't even stress enough how crazy it's been. A lot of milliners have packed up, you know, a lot of industry that we know, people who, you know, maybe have a supply business have said, this is it, done, I can't. But this year, like this last month, has given us the biggest glimmer of hope.
Yeah, given us a new lease of life.
We are for the first time seeing a real season this year, and it's like we can start planning for stuff now. Like we haven't had that opportunity, and it's been a little deflating. And to have everyone perk up, like the millinery world has perked up. And this year is going to be the most fantastic year. So we are planning just to put everything we have amassed online, because that alone is
we've been doing a lot of collecting over the last year.
I can't even stress how much collecting.
It's kind of like your sewing stash gone a bit mad. So yeah, we've just been collecting this past year, and now we've actually got a year. We can tell with the orders coming through as well, that you can see it's more hat related, whereas during lockdown it was sort of people were maybe buying thread and trims and ribbon, like crafty things, whereas now it's like, no, I'm going to spend that money on a really beautiful buntle or silk abaca or things like that. So it's really shifted in these last couple of months. And as soon as January hit this year, we were like, wow, everyone's come back. Like they've all been hibernating for the last 2 years.
Millinery has woken up, y'all, for 2022. Finally. It's really fantastic to see. Really we're thrilled, and I think, you know, we're just settling in now in Canterbury. It was a big move from London. We finally have a warehouse space that can cope with our buying habits. Although not really. We just dropped a shipping container outside. the size
it's
of our
full.
the size of our old shop in Elephant and Castle in London, we literally dropped one outside and we use it for really excess storage. Things that we don't need in 20 years time.
Yeah.
Please never go to therapy to sort out this shopping obsession you've got, because we love it. We love it. We want you to keep on buying.
No.
She's like, Michelle, I'm like, this is the last one. This is the last one. I
Can't do it.
I promise. We really can't take it. I know it. I know it. And then
she'll come in the next day and be like, yeah, I just got that. I'm like, okay. Okay. I mean, it's great.
Sorry, not sorry.
But there's a limit.
I'm done now.
Yeah, we are.
Also, if you have some if anyone has vintage millinery, hit me up. Just don't tell her.
Yeah, just like
it's our little secret.
Now we're gonna got some quick rounds. So, like, both of you, whatever the first thing that comes to your head, one or the other. Remember though, the other one we speak out of existence. So choose carefully. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, bring it.
Felt or cinema, one or the other.
Cinema.
To keep.
Oh, keep.
Which one are you keeping? The other ones we speak out of existence.
I'm gonna keep cinema.
Keep cinema.
Vintage or modern?
Vintage.
Every time.
When I was writing this, I was like, they're gonna pick vintage. Cut and sew or blocking?
Blocking.
Blocking.
Yeah.
Crin or feathers?
I'm gonna go feathers.
Yeah, feathers.
Well, I'm just gonna ask why. Why feathers?
I mean, I think there's bigger scope. There's an endless amount of feathers in the world. Like, they're biodegradable.
Yeah.
Plastic lives forever. And I think it's a little limiting. That's all. Nothing wrong with crin.
No, crin is great. Crin is versatile.
Crin has a moment, but feather has more moments.
Yes. I feel like crin has like its time, but feathers just keep on going. So.
Yeah. Timeless.
Which milliner is killing it right now, apart from me?
Oh my God, don't ask us this. Like, oh my gosh, what's our favorite milliner right now? That's so hard.
Not favorite. Which one? Who's killing it right? Who's killing it? Who's got killing it right now?
I mean, you're always gonna have your classic killing it. Your big names. There's Stephen Jones and Philip Tracy's of the world. Like, they're always gonna kill it. But who's you mean innovation killing it, or just?
However, the correct answer is me, but
Gosh. I mean, what? Actually, what I will say is Australian millinery killing it.
It's so
I'm gonna give it up to all of Australian millinery. Honestly, you could not be in a better place, John. We are always how fun, how bright, how innovative, how wearable and pretty but edgy. Australian millinery
is great.
Is insane. It's really I should be flying the flag for America and England, but I'm gonna be controversial and say Australian millinery is you guys.
I come in the morning. I'm like, Michelle, did you see this piece by this milliner? And it's always pretty much an Australian milliner.
But also you have competitions, competitions. That is something the UK could get more on board with. The theme, the black and the white, oh my gosh. And then the staging for the big races, where you go and you selfie your hat.
I love it.
Millinery scene in Australia, there's so much the world could take from you guys. And I just wish Ascot was more like that. I wish the Kentucky Derby got hold of it as well, like that, and just made it all about the hats Like, I love it.
I can see the Kentucky Derby sort of like embracing it. I don't think Ascot would ever embrace it. I think it's too pompous. It's great, don't get me wrong, but I think there's like a bit of pomp and ceremony that just wouldn't allow selfies. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think they're on the edge of it, and they would be silly not to embrace it. Like, you know, it's promoting a major event. Like,
they have been trying it
I think
these
they
last
are.
few years.
They're always going to do it with a little style and sophistication. You know, it's not going to be as edgy, but I think hopefully, and I feel like we're going to see more from Ascot. In the coming years. Embracing it.
Yeah, I'd say like the last few years there've been like that beautiful flower wall. So there's been staging bits, but I think you're right. It will ramp up a level. Especially this year. God, it's gonna be the first year that it's gonna be real.
The first real Ascot, because it barely even happened last year. They were like, it's gonna happen with like a few people, and then
and we didn't really see that many things. It wasn't really. It was more about the attendance than the millinery last year, and I think this year it's gonna be more like, we're here, we're at Ascot, look at my hat. So ready for this year.
Big, loud, and proud.
So what's the theme for your two hats this year then?
Oh gosh.
Or is it going to be left to last minute as per usual?
You know what? We leave it to the last minute every time.
Every year, 3 a.m.
People think we've been practicing it, or like we've got an idea months in advance. And I think, like 2 weeks before, we like chuck it out.
I will say, like, all your themes and hats for when you've gone to Ascot have always been iconic. The cactus, the night sky, and the rainbow, and those were just beauts, absolute beauts.
Aww,
so kind. Thank you.
No, it's just compliment where it's due. Last couple of questions. Trends for 22. What do you think is going to be hot for summer? Regardless, regardless in the world, what are the trends that you think is going to happen?
I mean, color wise, I think we're seeing a lot of like blue, like light blue, periwinkle moments.
Color of the year is
the Pantone color of the year. What's it called?
Very Perry or something, but it looks like
Very
more like
Perry.
mauve to me. Looks like mauve to me, so I'm like.
It's similar to a color we call unicorn purple.
We call it unicorn purple. It's that kind of bluey fading into purple fading into blue. We're seeing a lot of that already. Last year we were seeing a lot of that. The end of the year it's picked up. Icy grays. Not so girly. I think maybe
colors like coral have completely gone off. So lots of blue cool tones, lots of cool tones.
It's a huge contrast, because I mean we have a section of our cinema that we call the Barely There collection, just amongst ourselves, the Barely There, and that was such a trend for a long time for like Mother of the Bride and alternative brides, like Barely There blush, Barely There latte, Barely There beigey. And I think people are coming away from that and being like,
making more of a statement.
I'm getting married. I'm going to have a red hat. Yo.
Yeah.
It's happening. Bright pink, brighter colors. Like, why not have fun with it? Especially with all the canceled weddings that COVID. I think people are having more fun. I think they're taking a risk, and they're just being like, I haven't worn a hat in 3 years. I'm going to wear a hat.
We'll make it special.
Yeah.
A real hat. You're going to notice I'm wearing it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
On the flip side of that, then, what's a millinery, not item, trend, whatever, that we need to leave in 21?
Oh,
scandalous.
I don't know if we had a big enough millinery year to leave something behind. That's a tough.
I mean, I'm saying from like 2019 to 21, because they all roll into 1 year for me. Like, I think I will just the last couple of years, we'll just condense it into one.
Just
so
1 year.
what Yeah. So what should we just leave behind? What should we not bring into 22?
Oh, that's really hard.
I'll
I feel
give
like
you
the
mine.
trends. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I need some inspiration here. Yeah.
I'll give you mine. I'll give you mine. Okay. Boaters.
Oh, he doesn't like a boater
Controversial. Yeah.
It is
No, I mean,
controversial.
the old traditional boaters we'll keep, but boaters,
Yeah.
I think we've done boaters and halo crowns.
Oh,
Let's
you
move
thrown
on.
Halo Crown in the bundle.
The thing is that it's different over here. because I feel
I'm
like
going to get
just-
exported from Australia.
I feel like we've
Yeah.
just started with the Halo Crown
We-
thing over here.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, you know, we kind of
Yeah.
took the trend from Australia and we got started a little bit late, and
And then COVID hit.
we never got a Halo season.
No.
And
No.
I think the UK is owed a Halo season.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, let them have Halo.
And then next year.
And then next year, let's do something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But the boater, I feel like is classic and fresh and will always have a life to live.
Yeah. Although saying that. Yeah. So I think, although, I think we can keep the boater for a little bit longer, but something that is timeless that we have is a cartwheel. So very similar to a boater, just smaller crown, looks quite elegant. Whack some flowers on there, some feathers, beautiful.
Whack some flowers on there, she says. Whack it on, like it, you know. You know what? Can I say what I would like to see more of? Are we going to do that?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Feel free.
I've seen this a lot in Australia, actually. But I think if we're predicting that, are we doing a future prediction? Like we're already doing that. We're already talking about color. What I would like to see more of is the Breton. You know, I love it. I've seen it.
Yes.
It's coming up. It's very 60s. But it's kind of taking the halo and being like, hey, let's do a little bit more. Let's make this more of a hat moment.
Yeah.
And this chic little Breton.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean,
Love
if
it.
anybody wants to see a beautiful Breton, I'm going to put one up now because I have a beautiful one. It's pink and yellow, two of my favorite colors. And it won, highly commended at the Sydney Easter Show.
There we go.
place top three. I think I was like fourth or fifth, but I still placed. So
It's a
that's
prize,
fine.
dude. Well done. Hey, yeah. I
let's
think
just not forget-
Breton,
Yeah.
having a
absolutely.
moment.
Yep.
I think it will hit the UK like maybe this year. I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a proper hat. It's a real proper hat, and we're here for it.
Yeah. We've got time
Cool.
for it.
Right. So I know we're kind of pressed for time. So it's now time for the very first iconic battle royale. Do you want to know which two you've got to pick? You've got to pick one from,
Okay.
and this is a hard one. So I put them all in a random thing, and it was randomly paired them up. So do I have? Are you ready? Go pick one.
Ready? Okay. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, I mean,
So
are we
have,
talking
obviously
iconic or what we personally love?
no. So so basically, these are iconic hats that people on Facebook have picked, and we're whittling them down to find the most iconic hats.
Cool.
So
Okay.
we've got to get rid of one of them.
Get rid of one. Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, that's hard because
I know.
it's Audrey Hepburn. You can't do that to us. And then pitching us against what some people really dislike this hat, but I commend Beatrice. It's Beatrice. I commend her hat, her Philip Tracy moment, because that brought millinery to light in a way people were like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a liked hat, but it brought hats into focus,
it
and
really did.
publicity's publicity. And
Yeah.
I don't
True.
mind. I've always liked this hat. I've always liked her hat, her Philip Tracy moment. I think it's cool.
I-
It's It's very edgy and forward and not English millinery really at all.
No, that's true.
Which is very traditional. But it's so well made. Look at how well made it is.
I think.
But it's Audrey. We can't throw Audrey in the trash.
No, we have to keep Audrey.
We have to keep Audrey. But I commend.
The judge and jury has spoken. We are getting rid of the iconic Beatrice. I'm not even going to call it pretzel hat because everybody calls it a pretzel hat, but the pretzel hat. So
sorry, girl.
Bye, Beatrice.
Love you.
But, you know, we get to keep the iconic Audrey Hepburn. So yes, thank you very much for being in this interview with me today. It's been a pleasure talking to you both. If you want to follow Petershams, what are your socials?
At Petershams. Yeah, we're on Instagram,
Exactly.
Facebook. Yep, at
I could have just said
Petershams.
that myself. So make sure you give these ladies.
We got in there early. We got in there early with the name.
I thank you very much for talking to me today, and to everybody listening, make sure you give this like a comment. Let me know down below who you would have picked for your iconic hat battle, and I will see you next month with more hat gossip. Until then, see you later. Bye.